Hey guys, to celebrate reaching 100 paintings, I thought it would be fun to rank every single painting that I have done here on the channel. So, yesterday we ranked everything from year 2, and today we are ranking everything from year 3. As always, we're gonna go from my least favorite to my most favorite, and yeah, let's see how I decided to rank them. Coming in at number 20, my least favorite painting from year 3 is Jumper. It's really just, there's a lot of issues here. Really the pillars that are coming down and up, they're kind of uneven, and it kind of just looks wonky. And the spiked pillars, the spikes down there, they kind of ended up uneven as well. You can kind of see they kind of go up a little bit and then they come back down. And some of them are a little bit smaller and some of them are a little bit bigger in some areas. This whole painting just turned out a little bit wonky, and I don't hate it. I love how the player cube right there turned out, but everything else about it, and background, I love how the background turned out, but everything else about it it really just turned out wonky. At number 19, we have Easter Fools. This one is really, it's supposed to be terrible, so that's why it's not the worst. It's not my least favorite from year 3. But yeah, it was an April Fool's Day painting, so yeah, it's supposed to be terrible. It's supposed to look this way, you know? I will admit, when I went and painted the eggs, I did think really hard about where I should place each egg. And so I ended up placing the yellow one in the middle because yellow is very similar to white, and I didn't want it to blend in with the white background. So that's why the yellow one ended up in the middle. Really, the rest of them are just placed randomly. Yeah, it's good for an April Fool's Day painting, but yeah, kind of compared to everything else that I did in year 3, it's not as good for obvious reasons, but that's to be expected when you're painting something for April Fool's Day. And at number 18, we have Valley. There's really nothing wrong with it. I just don't like how the cliff and the Doug Trio statue are like right next to each other, and they're kind of blending into each other a little bit. And the shading on the mountains also turned out really wonky too. You can kind of see on this one, I kind of just did all of the shading like that instead of, you know, actually paying attention to how the mountain was going. But you know what? I am happy with it. And at number 17, it is Cozy Cabin. I really just, everything is kind of wrong with this. The fact that the house is facing toward you and the hilltop, there should be more hilltops on this painting. There should be like more hills instead of just one singular hill that's kind of holding everything. So I feel like the house should be on its own separate hill, and then the tree and everything else should be on a separate hill in the foreground, and the house should be on its own hill in the background, you know? So it all just kind of turned out a little bit weird, but I'm happy with this. I'm happy with how this all came together. At number 16, it's Hannibal. There's really nothing I don't like about this painting. I just really don't like how the water right here looks. I feel like it kind of blends in with the green, and yeah, everything else about the painting though, I do like how everything else looks. I like how the bubbles look and how the trees with the leaves and everything look. It really is just the water. I don't like how that looks. If I could go back and change that, I would change it to a darker color so it doesn't blend in so much. But I like how this one turned out. At number 15, we have Birubiru Kingdom. There's really nothing wrong with this one, honestly. I like how this one turned out. I do kind of think this tree kind of is shaped a little bit weird, but aside from that, I do really like how this one turned out. I like how the sun looks and the pyramid and the shadows and pretty much everything on this. I like how this looks. At number 14 is Congo. This one is, I really just wish the barrel had more details on it. I really do wish the barrel had more details because it looks very flat, and it has a top. The barrel has a top, and I didn't show the top, you know? So the barrel turned out a little bit wonky. Other than that, though, I think this turned out really neat. I like how the background turned out. I like how the trees look and the stage itself. Everything turned out really neat. It's just the barrel, really. The barrel is really my only issue with this one. At number 13, it is Flat Zone. I actually forgot which painting was in my hand for a second. Let me redo that. At number 13, we have Flat Zone. So this one, it's not terrible. It's not terrible. Based on what I was given with the, you know, it's flat. The entire world of Mr. Game & Watch is flat. So, you know, there's not really a whole lot of detail you can put into a flat area. But, you know, given what I was given, I think it turned out really cool, and I really like how the dirt right here looks. I think that looks so cool. I like this painting. I really like this painting. So up next we have Light Show. Really this one has an issue. I have an issue with the fact that I didn't add a Stargate around the rainbow. I like how the rainbow turned out. Now I like how the Toad and the Bowser lights turned out. I think those turned out really cool. And the galaxy too, the fact that the galaxy is kind of hidden. You don't really see that much detail. Well, you kind of see it on camera when the light hits it, but the fact that the galaxy is kind of just not really there. When you see it in person, the galaxy is really just not there. And I don't like that, but I do like how the rest of the painting looks. And at number 11, it's Animal Island. This is another one that I did for a special occasion, and I did it for reaching 5 years in Animal Crossing New Leaf. So I did a little painting to celebrate that, and I do think it could have turned out a little bit better. I think the reason it's so low on the list is because the canvas did warp a little bit once I had finished it. Not huge, but it did kind of warp a little bit. That's really not the painting's fault, though. I do think the painting turned out really cool. It's just not my favorite compared to some of the other stuff that I created that year. And at number 10, we have Space Dust Alley. I really like how this turned out. I love how the sky turns out. I do think that the cliffs back there turned out a little bit weird, but not too much. And the path turned out cool, the opening, and pretty much everything except the cliffs. I like everything except the cliffs in this painting. I don't hate the cliffs, but compared to how everything else in this painting looks, the cliffs are probably my least favorite part of this painting. I do like it though. And at number 9, it is Capture the 80s. The 8-bit Capy painting. I do really like how this one turned out. I did try to put a little bit more detail into the background of this 8-bit painting, and I actually do like how the background looks. I like how Capy turned out as well. I think this whole painting just turned out really cool. And at number 8, we have Shine. This one was my very first pour painting, and for how it turned, for what I could do for my very first pour painting, I think it turned out great. I do kind of wish that the shine itself had a little bit more detail and a little bit more definition, but yeah, I'm happy with how it turned out. For the very first pour painting that I ever did, I think it looks nice. And at number 6, we have the very last painting that I did in year 3, which is Syntax. And I really do love how this one turned out. I love the galaxy. I love how the red and the blue and the purple and even the white right here. I like how it all turned out. I like how the moon and the spaceship and Maxwell and the satellite dish right here, it all looks really cool. All of it is really neat. And yeah, this painting is one of my favorites for sure. And now for the moment of truth. If you watched the year 1 ranking video, you will know that I painted over my least favorite painting that I ever did. What did I paint over? What did I do to paint over that painting? Lava blocks. This is the painting that I did to just cover up the absolute just disaster that was Hide and Peek. So this is what I painted over with, and I like this so much better. I like how the blocks in the background look. I like how the volcano and the lava look. It all just came out so cool, and it's honestly 10 times better than Hide and Peek was. So, and at number 5 we have Rock Mountain. This is really cool. I like how the pillars in the back look, and I like pretty much everything about this. I like the cliff face, even though the cliffs look a little bit flat in some areas. I do like it. The warp pipes and pretty much everything about this. It looks Really neat, and I'm really happy with it. At number 4, it is Luck Pushing. This one turned out so much better than the first pour painting I did. I love how the background looks. The background is so cool. It's so great. I love how it all just looks great. I love how it almost makes cells. I wasn't really trying to make cells in the background, but I really love the background of this painting. And I love the character that I painted too. I will say this shoe, the front shoe, turned out a little bit weird. It should look a little bit more like this, but it ended up being wonky. That's my only complaint with this. But the rest of the painting, the character, the background, everything else about it just turned out so cool. I love this painting. I love this painting. At number 3, we have Waterfall. This was the very first painting that I did for year 3, and I really love it. When I originally thought of the idea for this painting, it was just going to be the cliff, the waterfall, and Molly. It wasn't going to have any of the trees or the balloon present or the campsite in the background. It was just going to be Molly fishing by the river. And as the idea kind of grew, because I knew when I thought of this idea, I knew I wanted it to be the first painting for year 3. So, you know, I had a lot of time to kind of expand on the idea and kind of make it better. And I will say, I'm glad I waited. I'm really glad I waited. This was this is a really awesome painting, and I love it. And we are getting down to the wire. At number 2, it is Game Over. This is a Halloween painting I did, and I really love how it all came out. I love the background, how all of these little green rectangles came out, and how the ground plane with those little red streaks represent like red grass. And even how the top looks, it's great. I love how the painting looks. I do wish that the fountain had a little bit more detail, but that's okay. That is okay. This painting turned out great for what I was going with at the time. And we are finally at the number 1 spot. The number 1 painting of year 3 is Woody Woods. So great. This one actually took me the most amount of time in year 3 to complete. There were so many layers. I knew I had the idea to do Woody Woods and just add details, add more and more layers. I wasn't sure at the beginning what I was going to put in each layer. So, but I'm really glad with what I chose and how it all came together. I like the 2 wigglers and, you see the little Pinky Boo in the background? That's a reference to an older painting from year 1. I love how that came out. I love how, pretty much everything in this painting turned out. Once I got to the end, I did realize that I was just kind of rushing it, so I just threw it together a bunch of flowers at the very end. Honestly, it didn't turn out bad. No, I think this painting is one of my favorites just because there was so much work that was put into this painting. I worked really hard on this one, honestly. So I had to give it the number 1 spot just because I remembered just how much work went into this painting. It was a lot of work. A lot of work went into this painting. So it had to be the number 1 spot. So yeah, there we go. And that is it. That is all the paintings from year 3. Join us back here tomorrow where we will rank every single painting from year 4. See you guys then.